Hey everyone, so I'm back with another financial video and I wanted to show you guys what a 3-minute budget looks like. And this is also going to be, it's Dave Ramsey's budget system, how he does it, but it's also with a little bit of a twist, kind of like how I wind up doing our budget. And so these aren't my actual numbers, these are just numbers that I've created just for the sake of just being clean and neat and organized. And so as you can see from the very top of the budget, I have an income of $3,500. Then again, these are all fake numbers. And so I have all of my bills listed here. And so at the very top, the way I usually do my bills is I try to go by like the most expensive and then I kind of go down, except I have the groceries down here. But I usually start with like the mortgage and then my utilities, and this is also going to be kind of like the extra fun money. And this is just to show you guys like a really quick way on how to do this. So again, I have my mock income here at about $3,500, and Dave says not to have your mortgage or rent payment be more than 1/4 of your income, your take-home pay. So 1/4 of $3,500 is $875. And then again, these are all mock numbers. These are just kind of numbers that I feel like would be most appropriate for these categories. So you have electricity at $200, cable and internet $100, and then you have your water bill at $50, your gas at $50, car insurance at $100, groceries at $500, personal money at $200, and whatever is left at the very bottom needs to go either towards your debt or your savings. Now, this honestly, again, took me probably 15 seconds to write down. It'll only take me about 3 minutes to explain. And this is why a budget's so great, is because it really takes no time at all to put it together, and it's super easy. Now, the only trick that I have, Dave Ramsey always is preaching to give every dollar a purpose. And I think that that's really great, and I think a lot of people do very, very well with being super disciplined and having every dollar have a name on it. But I have found just over time with my own personal spending habits that that doesn't really work too well with us, just because every single month something comes up. I mean, a $60 purchase can totally throw off your budget. So the way I do it is every time I go at the beginning of the month to write down my budget, I will write down kind of like what I think the bills are gonna be, but I always overestimate. So for example, you know, say if your electricity is normally $200, I would put $250 in this category. If cable and internet's $100, you know, I would put $150, just because these numbers are so flexible and can constantly change. My cable bill can be, you know, $114.73. But if I've only budgeted $100 for that, and I have a $15, you know, overage on all of these amounts, then it doesn't add up at the very bottom. And so what I always do is I always overestimate on everything. So again, like the mortgage, I would put $900, electricity, $250, cable, $150, you know, water, $75, gas, $75, car insurance, you know, $125, things like that. Just because, again, I know that those items are flexible, and I just want to make sure that I'm safe, because at the end of the month, if I do this right, the only thing I'm left with is extra money, and that's just not necessarily a problem for me. And so just to kind of show you really quick what all of these numbers add up to. So all of these numbers added up is $2,075. Now that includes the mortgage, the utilities, your groceries, your personal money, and everything. So that's $2,075. As you can tell at the top, the income is only $3,500. So you obviously have quite a bit of an overage. So $3,500 minus $2,075, that is the money that is left over at the end of the month. Now, when I always say that I always over budget for things, that doesn't just stop with the bills. So what I would probably do is I would take this number and say, okay, I have $1,400 to go towards savings or debt. Or knowing me, I would probably even bump it down lower to like maybe $1,200 or $1,000, just to be clean about it. And so let's just be clean and say $1,000. So I would say, and since we have no debt, then $1,000 is left over at the end of the month that can go towards debt, or I'm sorry, that can go towards your Roth IRAs, your retirement. It can go towards any kind of sinking funds that you have. And so that way at the end of the month, if all of this matches and I still have $1,000, which this is my main goal, is to have $1,000 into savings and all of my bills paid. If I have an overage of $400, that's perfect. All I'm gonna do is add that to that account. I'm just speaking for my husband and myself. It seems like every single month there's a $60 purchase, a $40 extra gas charge. There's always seems to be something, and every time I would try to make it really, really tight, I would always wind up having overdraft charges and things like that. And so I try to make it as even as I possibly can, but I also try to make it functional for us and our lifestyle. And so again, if I can hit my main goal of putting $1,000 in savings, that's great. If I can even push it further and have an extra $425 to go into that account, then that's all gravy. And so again, I always overestimate my costs and my expenses, and then hopefully at the end of the month, I'll have a nice little, I almost look at it as like having a bonus check every single month, if that makes sense. And so that's just something I've never really made clear in my videos. Again, it's not exactly like how Dave Ramsey would say. He would say to have every dollar have a purpose, and I think that's great, and I think if people can do that, that's great. But I've just, after several months of trying to do that, I just see that it doesn't really work. And so my biggest goal is to have all of these met. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys got a few tips from this. Please leave a comment below if you have any suggestions or advice for me, and maybe I can add it to my budget. Thanks, guys.